Hello and welcome into another episode of the Rock for Him podcast. My name is Sandshoes, and joining me today is my good friend, my brother in Christ, our number two man here on Rock for Him, Mr. Riker Levine. Riker, how's it going, brother?
It's going good. How are you, Jason?
Doing good. I am excited for tonight. Getting to talk to all of these guys tonight is probably gonna be a highlight for me. Like, I love this man. Like, I know you guys, I don't know how it looks on the screen there, but just next to me on my screen, Eddie Kross. Like, I love this man's music. Like, love his music. So, all that being said, let me introduce our guest for tonight. First up, we have Eddie Kross. Eddie, what is going on, brother?
How you doing? How you doing?
Doing good. So can you tell us who you have with you tonight?
All right. So I called and asked you to do a podcast about our new song, Mercy on My Life. So we got the whole band and production team and everything. So sitting with me is Sean Short, bass player.
Hello.
And I'm
Welcome, Sean.
calling in from Virginia is Cole, the drummer.
Welcome,
Hello.
Cole.
And we have the luxury of having the famous Andrew Stanton from Disciple, who mixed and mastered post production on the song, and he's an important part of this track.
Hey guys, thanks for having me.
Oh, thank you for coming on, Andrew.
I'm glad to hear
Honestly,
I'm finally famous. This is great news.
I was gonna make a joke had he not said that you were with Disciple. I was like, you look familiar. The name sounds familiar.
You did it, Andrew. You made it onto Rock for Him.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can go places from here.
That's how you know you made it. And
Yeah.
maybe we will get more to you in a little bit. I want to talk to Eddie. Eddie,
All right.
your new song, brother. Tell us about your music. Tell us about this new song.
All right. So, so funny trying to talk about it, right? We just write it and we feel it and we put it, and then all of a sudden, come on, you got to write an essay about it. That's all right. I'll tell you what I know. So, really, man, I just, a lot of the last 5 years and a lot of the last, my recent past history and stuff has been very reflective. I've had some serious ups and downs, had some stuff with health. As you know from previous discussions, I'm
Right.
a combat veteran and I had a lot of changes to family over the years and stuff. And so as God has gotten a hold of me here again, it's just been very reflective and, to tell you the truth, man, like just starting out on this Christian metal journey, a little bit later in time. It's just I often ponder, man, is this going to work? Am I going to get a chance to do what you called me to do, God, or is it too late for me? And so the chorus and some of that really reflects that. But I really have something I got to tell you about the second verse.
Got
So
it.
the crazy thing about this is we were writing a song, right? And I was trying to come up. I had the first verse and the chorus, and we had a good structure for the song. And I was just kind of like doing the mumble rap thing when we would get to the second verse part, just faking it. So I was like, we'll put words in there later. Well, one afternoon, or my wife told me, she got back from work and she's like, I got to tell you this dream I had last night. And she told me this dream about being like, and she said it was like I was in a mall and there was people with guns running around chasing, and everybody was trying to hide. And I went into the women's restroom to try to hide, and a bunch of women were tied up in there, and they're like, go over here, and they were trying to tell me where to hide. And she was like, it was the most frightening thing I've ever had in my life, and we were trying to get away from all these guys coming into this shopping mall with guns, right? And I'm like, okay, I'm going to use that vision. I think God gave you a vision, and I'm going to write that into the song. So I fashioned that second verse because I was thinking at the time we read in the Bible, when we get down to those end times and God pulls his spirit off of the earth, it's going to be mayhem like that. And then what's really crazy is 3 days after she told me that vision was October 7th last year. and that
Hmm.
popped off in Israel.
Wow.
So that was like, whoa.
Wow. Wow. So let me ask your other two band members. How did you guys get hooked up with a nutball like Eddie? Like is there like a hostage situation going on here? Do you need to blink and we need to send help or how did
No, actually, I was just starting my journey in Christ a little later in life, and like I said, I was looking for to change music genres, going into Christian music, and went on a website and found this crazy guy, and we hooked up. Actually, with a different drummer at that time, started doing some songs. Things didn't work out, moved on, and he actually knew Cole, and we just kind of started jamming from there.
how about you, Cole? How did you get hooked up with Eddie?
Uh, well, I mean, before all like me playing drums, I was doing marching drums and drum corps, and then I uh just kind of made after all that stuff, I kind of went to church drumming and did drum set stuff there, and then I just threw a shot in the dark, and I think it was like a website. I put my just me playing on some website like Entertainment Gig Worldwide or something like that, and then you just like reached out, and that's kind of how that all started. I went out, and I think the first gig was in Virginia, and then I just kind of stuck with them, kept playing. So
Hmm.
Sir.
And now I guess we need to ask Andrew, how did you get connected with Eddie? And again, same question. Do you need to blink? Do I need to send help? I mean,
No, no, we Eddie and I have we met in person, Eddie, at a show?
No, but I did see you guys rock the snot out of KCF this year.
Oh, okay, cool. So we've technically been in the same place together, but we've just been working remotely. So I'm fine so far. Uh, but yeah, Colin Cruz, who is a radio DJ for the Blast FM, has been in touch with Eddie on other songs, and he recommended my services for mixing and mastering, and so we did both of those together for this song. So that was cool for me because I've been producing for about a decade, living in Nashville now, and written a lot for Disciple. Um, I've been involved in a few other band projects, and then I've written a ton of tracks over the last several years for placement, royalty-free library stuff. So, car shows, pick up rock tracks. When you hear those riffs, but right before the commercial and stuff like that, or
that's you.
Fire, where they make swords, all that stuff. But mixing has been something I've been aiming to get more involved with as the years have gone on because I like that part of the process a lot and been through that process a lot with all those tracks I've produced or recorded on, written on. So it's been fun to in recent months like make that journey take its first few steps, and so the song was really good for me in that sense, and came out really good for everybody involved, and we're gonna do some more.
Hmm.
Thanks, Colin.
Right
Yes.
on.
So I guess next, I mean, there's the two big points we like to hit on, musically, who you guys are, what you guys do, but obviously this is also, the other part of the importance is, the faith and the ties to gospel and sharing, Christ through your music. So don't, maybe about 5 minutes each, but if you guys could just spend a little bit of time on your testimony, how you came to know Christ and then how you were able to make the connection to, Eddie and to making music and to, you know, sharing the gospel through that.
Um, yeah, I've been playing in bands for probably the last 30 years since high school, in and out of stuff. Um, Cover bands, original bands. Did a little bit of touring with the other band I was in. Uh, I knew God and Jesus and all that through family members and stuff. Believed, yeah, there was definitely some higher power that created things. Um, about 2.5 years ago, my cousin passed away, heart attack. It was at her funeral when her daughter got up and saying, "I can only imagine," at her funeral, and that kind of hit me. I don't know, kind of hard. Um, my uncle, her dad, has always been solid faith, and he has a business. I have a business, kind of depression stuff. Talked to him a little bit, and basically that's when I decided to change. Dropped all my secular stuff. Like I said, I went on the website, decided to go with Christian music, change everything, and that's like I said when I got hooked up with Eddie here. So that was kind of my story, I guess.
Hmm.
And it's crazy to that because I had moved down here to Lansing from up north, and just couldn't find any musicians, couldn't find anything really, and it was like and I had some really bad health. I had a surgery, gallbladder removal surgery that went bad, and I went septic, and like 3 months in the hospital, trying not to die, and lost 60 pounds or whatever. Came out of the hospital straight on a walker, couldn't stand up, couldn't walk. I mean, just really sick. So as after I rehabbed, physical rehab and recovered from that, I took off and went down to Florida. I told my wife I'm gonna go down to, and I had already quit playing music for like a year prior to that. And I was just like, and I was like, what am I supposed to do with myself, Lord? So I just went down there, and I was like, I'm gonna go on a sabbatical. I'm gonna continue my physical fitness type of journey, get my muscle structure back and stuff. And I said, and I'm just gonna seek the Lord for what He wants me to do. And I brought an acoustic guitar with me only down there, maybe almost a week. And I took the guitar out of the case and I played like one or two chords. And the hair stood up on the back of my neck. And I remembered the call of God He put on my life when I was 19, telling me, when I first got saved off of the street, God telling me, I'm gonna make your ways my ways, and I'm gonna make your music my music, and you're gonna take my music to the masses. And so I was like, and I had sold my amps and all my gear and stuff. So I just get back to Michigan, and I had actually taken down all my profiles on any kind of website looking for anything. And then I got this email, oh, you got a notification. Well, I forgot about one profile. And here's this dude talking about, hey, my name's Sean. I like your sound. We're trying to form a Christian metal band. Are you interested? I'm like,
Well, that sounds like Disciple.
yeah, right on. So I went through the process of getting all the gear back up. I'm like, honey, my wife, I'm like, that amp I sold a week ago? Well, I say it was months ago at that time. I need to buy that again. So
Nice.
That's very cool though, how God works.
Absolutely.
Right.
Cole, you want to share a little bit?
Me, I mean, I've always kind of been a Christian growing up, but not as much as I am, now. But when I was a kid, uh, I guess I would say I was a Christian, but I was you know, a troublemaker, I guess, and I was in and out of foster care, and I didn't really know my calling or anything, but every time I would play the drums or something, it would feel right, like this is what I'm supposed to do, and uh, so I would, start playing with churches, and got closer, and I just kind of, before I met Eddie, actually, I kind of was kind of giving up on playing because I wasn't going anywhere with it, and then I just kind of made that account on that website I was talking about earlier, and uh, you know, just kind of randomly out of nowhere, kind of the next day after I was asking God if this is what He wanted me to do, and I got that message and just kind of kept going and playing with Him, and that's how me and Eddie met, and how I've gotten closer with God through Eddie. So,
Mm. I,
but
I
yeah.
can definitely see how that can happen. I mean, just the conversations I've had with Eddie, even over the last few weeks, where, you had said to me, man, I've done some things the wrong way. I'm trying to do this the right way now. Like
Hmm.
that's powerful. Like that's strong, Eddie. That has an impact on people when you can say that I've done things the wrong way. I want to do it the right way now.
Yeah.
Andrew, do you want to share a little bit of your testimony with us?
Yeah, sure. I was raised by some Christian parents in California. Um, they introduced me to Sunday school and everything I know about God, and they taught me um, all of uh, all of the ways that Christian parents in the 80s and 90s were doing the parenting thing, and I'm really thankful for that. It was awesome. Had a great childhood and got raised in a really good environment. I got more serious about walking with God when I was in junior high because I got involved with youth group, which kind of taught me how to be social.
Mhm.
And youth leaders that I had, youth pastors and youth leaders, which there were several over those few years of junior high and high school. But they were all music for the most part. They all played on the worship team. And I had just started playing guitar in sixth grade, so anything that had music in it was really interesting to me at that point. Rock and roll was very appealing because I wasn't great at sports or other other things that kids were getting good at. I was falling and breaking my arm a lot, skateboarding or playing baseball. So guitar was definitely a good career choice for my health. But yeah, with music being sort of the anchor that kept me in the church world, I learned a lot about the real spiritual journey that my life was getting ready to be on. And then formed a band with guys from the worship team, and we ended up having this band called I Am Empire that got signed to Tooth and Nail. We did some tours, did some really cool things, and the first record that we made for the label, anyways, was out here in Nashville. And so I got connected with people in Nashville. This producer named Rob Hawkins had just finished producing an album called Horseshoes and Hand Grenades. And so he was playing us songs like Dear X and Battle Lines and Watch It Burn all in the studio before they'd even gotten mixed. And I was already a Disciple fan from the Scars Remain era, or even before that. And I'd seen them play multiple times and was a big fan of the band. Um, but after a couple years of touring and playing with I Am Empire, that journey sort of ended. It was just kind of a tough system for us to keep touring the way that things were and the age we were at, and getting married and moving out, kind of growing up all at once was not conducive with living in the van anymore for that period of time. And I happened to be at a festival in Germany with my guys, and Disciple was headlining there. And I found out it was the last show for Micah, and it was the last show for Israel on bass. And they had gotten this new, really weird, tall guy named Josiah on guitar already, who I had no idea meeting him that day. He was about to be my best friend and I'd be, his kids' godparents. It's just crazy to think about those little moments. But all that is kind of career stuff, but all those things kept me anchored to a spiritual community, like my obviously grew up in church and all that, but the main church or Christian community that I've really been a part of where we've had, real growth and challenges and lived life together has all been in that music world. I know Eddie said he was a veteran, which I didn't know. So thanks for your service and any of the other guys as well. Um, my grandpa was a army vet. He fought in Korea, and I grew up wanting to be a fighter pilot. And all young men kind of want to go off to battle and make a difference in the world. And it ended up that my calling and my journey went through music. And so,
Yeah.
loving guitar and loving bands and loving Christian rock all culminated in this sort of guidance that God gave me to wind up with those people. Because everyone I've named, plus so many more people in this story, have been equally responsible for, for God being not God being present in my life, but me being aware of it is, I think, the way to say. So, technically, if you want to ask me when did I pray the prayer, I was 4, but really, it's that whole journey of
Yeah.
deciding to walk with God, and I'm still on it every day, trying to learn more about who Jesus was and what he stood for, and how that defies a lot of our conventional ideas about him even now. And every day that goes by, really, the Gospels get more important to me, and the time that I have to be in prayer, and the time that I have to give to serve with other people, like those are the important things. And so it's been great to watch those grow, and all the other things, all the noise, all the big lights and all the things that music has, that's just music. Like the big stage and all that stuff only matters so much. So it's been a cool journey for me to like separate those things when they started out sort of together. It's amazing to be in an industry or community, I guess we'd call it now, where it's like those things are intertwined and everybody has this understanding of what that is. Like Christian rock bands are not necessarily just a ministry, but they're not necessarily just a band either.
Right.
And there's a cool relationship there, and I'm glad that we all get to participate in that. Hopefully we can all keep growing and learning together, and walking closer with God all along the way.
Absolutely. Like that is our mission statement, honestly. Like we want to first and foremost glorify Christ. And second, we want to bring together this community of Christian rock metal musicians, and show people that there is value in that. And before we get back to Eddie, can I really quick share a couple of personal disciple stories? Just
Yeah,
real quick. Okay.
I love to hear them.
Okay. Last year when you guys were on Winter Jam, or not last year, the year before, Winter Jam, we went, took my family, my wife and daughter, and Josiah and Kevin were up doing the Q&A, and I got up and I said, guys, would you ever consider being on the Rock for Him podcast? They both said yes. That for me, like one of my buddies, I didn't know it was sitting in the crowd up above. He videoed it and sent it to me. Like that was awesome. We're still trying to get you guys on, and we will. I will make it happen. You guys are actually a bucket list band for us.
Well, thank you. Yeah.
Yeah,
We'll
and
happen
I
eventually.
I love how you mention, I think it's interesting to think of just with your testimony, mentioning how, you were saved at 4, but it's all these important moments after that, count for a lot. Because for an eternity for us, the moment we're saved is the most important decision we can make in our life. But while we're here on earth, every moment after counts for so much more while we're
Yep.
here. So, yeah. Um, so yeah, thank you all for sharing. I really,
Absolutely.
really appreciate that. Um, so now I'm curious, what are some of your guys's personally and as a group influences and inspirations for your music and for your lyric?
Yeah.
I'm assuming
So
that's when the lead man jumps in and
that's right. That's right. Yeah. Well, the lead man tries to be not overbearing because his tendency can come off like a force of nature. So, but right on. So, yep. So I'm writing most of the songs, lyrically writing the songs, and then we've had some riff sessions, and we get some good riff sessions in. But a lot of times I'm in the wee hours of the night just putting this stuff together and coming up with. So I'm doing most of the composition, you know. But Sean and I are really cut from the same cloth musically because, and I guess it's probably age related.
The 80s.
Yeah, we grew up on.
My,
We
my
were,
my favorite band was Motley Crue, and all the hair bands back then. That's like I said what I played.
and then the good stuff that came out in the '90s too. We've watched, metal from its birth, really, evolve right on through, and so we love it that way. What's funny is I played when I first came to Christ and I started doing stuff musically. I was on the acoustic guitar. I played the electric at 15. Loved all that stuff. Kept up with all that metal songs. But playing wise, I did most of my writing on acoustic over the years. And then when I came back from combat and my first marriage disintegrated, and I took the talent that God gave me, and I unfortunately used it for my own purposes. So I went out there. I had the look back then, fresh out of the army. I went out there and just, cut up with the guitar and wrote about the wrong kind of stuff and used the music for my purposes. So really, it's a story of redemption that even later in life, even, when I feel like, oh, I'm too old, I'm too fat, I'm used up, but God has set this thing in motion. And all we've really decided, above all else, we've said, we're just going to show up. No matter what happens, we show up and do the job, and God'll do his thing, So that's what we're
Absolutely.
gonna do is get up there. And most of the songs, honest truth, man, I'm a worshiper at heart, and we got this stories and stories and stories of his saving and his life changing power. And so most of the songs, at least some element of them, are me really just praising my guts out with everything we've got up there to the loudest, hardest music we can figure out how to play. So.
Mm.
And we've
Mm.
done that in bars and different venues too already. We got this show coming up, Battle of the Bands. We're the only Christian band there. And I'm just like was telling my wife, a lot of these bands, they're going to be that they're trying to win, they're trying to do something. We're just going to go and do what we do. I'm going to stand up in front of everybody and we're going to worship God. Probably not going to say a lot at that venue because the honest truth is the lyrics say it all. We're going to go up there and just seek his presence right in the middle of that secular venue, in the middle of that battle of the band, and in the hopes to see him move. And I got a pile of people coming people that are like, could be my parents too, that are coming to be available to talk to people and be prayer warriors during our set and during the show. So I guess we kind of think of this as the mission field. We look at ourselves as metal music missionaries, the term I've been tossing around.
Absolutely. It's awesome. So I know you said that you had told me you guys have some more music coming out. When can we? I know yours literally dropped on my birthday. So thank you for that present.
Yeah,
But
yeah, you told me that January 10th.
January 10th, yeah. So when's the next one come out? He's like, I can't wait to hear more. Like I know I'm greedy here. I want to hear more.
All right, so we're trying to look, we got the chops, we got the songs, we know we can go out and do that. We've went out in these situations and proven ourselves. We've got the reputation now. And so the thing of it is I want to get the social media and the Spotify listenership and all that to reflect who we are. And so we're gonna work on trying to pound one out every 9 weeks through
Wow.
2025. I want to see if we can knock out 5 to 6 songs for this year. So, and we're gonna have music videos and related content on a schedule within those 9 week periods. So the first thing coming next for Mercy is a lyric video, and then a couple weeks after we put the lyric video out, we're gonna have Right now, we're filming and working on a music video. Actually,
Nice.
the music video the first music video is going to take a lot of the footage from the shows we did all summer. We went all over the East Coast, Virginia, Pennsylvania, Ohio. Of course, we went down to the Kingdom Come Festival and some other stuff. So we're going to take that footage and interlace it with a storyline that goes with the song. And so they expect that bad boy within the next, I would say, let me see, I want that at 5 weeks, I think. So 5 weeks from the 10th, we said a music video. 3 weeks, we're going to try to have a lyric video out. So
Awesome. Cannot wait to see those. So let me ask your guys here. What was the process for you guys when Eddie brings you the song? Like, what was your process for adding in your parts, Cole? And and I apologize. I can't remember her name.
John.
Yes.
No
Sorry.
problem. Go ahead, Cole.
A lot of what I played, because when we first started, he sent me, uh, Angel and Mercy and all those songs, and they had the drums in them already. So I mean, I kind of just played, listened to it, and played what was on it already, and I obviously kind of changed it up a little bit. Um, so yeah, most of what we've already played is drum parts have been given to me, and I've kind of just changed it up, just a little bit to fit. Maybe he doesn't. There's not a specific symbol that or I can't do a certain fill or whatever. So I switch some things up, but for the most part, so far it's been kind of given to me a little bit. But
Hmm.
Tell me straighten Cole out because his modesty is killing me. Cole is like a savant or something. You can give this guy a song, right, with drums. It doesn't matter what. This kid is going to play it in like a short minute. He'll send you a recording back where he's like played. He hears every freaking snare, every little. He plays it exactly like I've never met somebody who you can hand him a track and he'll come back and he'll have that bad boy. I'm like, oh, he got that hi-hat. It's like, no, he's being super modest, man. We love Cole because he could just you put it in front of him, he's gonna duplicate it. So highly skilled that way.
Nice. How about you?
Um, Kind of easy for me. I mean, we're me and Eddie, live next to not far from each other, and I come over here to his house, his studio. He has some riffs. Basically, I just kind of see what chords he's playing. Put in some bass lines to it. I mean, it's pretty easy. I said it's a little harder for Cole being in Virginia. We gotta send stuff back and forth. Um, but yeah, like I said, it's kind of pretty much easy for me and Ed to sit down and hammer some stuff out. So yeah, it's not too bad.
Hmm. And Andrew, for you, when Eddie sends you these tracks, how do you go about putting your little spin on it, or what do you exactly put into it?
Yeah, so usually the biggest ingredient with what a mix, uh, what the I guess I'd say you guys are like a client. When the client is looking for a mix, they're gonna give examples, and so you guys did a really awesome, good, thorough job of giving me examples to cite, and I'm glad that Colin thought of me because I also have a big love for 80s music. Van Halen's my favorite band ever, like not even close. But then I also love a lot of the stuff that you guys cited, like Kill Switch Engage, and I'm trying to remember the other ones in the list
You
now.
guys,
Sorry?
Disciple song was on that list.
Oh, yeah, Disciple Songs. I know that sound.
I can't remember what one is now. I just went through. I'm like, well, I want to be able to tell him one of his. So
Yeah, and so that formula of, uh, the drums being intense but not really like wet like 80s drums are big, tons of reverb and size. If you think Def Leppard, there's not a lot of drums getting hit, right? But the stuff that you cited, is more quick, and so I knew immediately what type of drum sound to go for. That's the one that we typically use. It's the one that I like on metal records. um, you know, uh, there's all kinds of bands you can look at in both worlds. In the secular world, I love. It's funny, they're secular uh, in every sense of the term, but they're called Lamb of God. But they have some awesome sounding metalcore records, a la Kill Switch, or you know, there's more modern sounding bands like Fit for a King that would have lots of like production and extra stuff and heavy edits. Um, and I like a lot of that stuff as well. Periphery is one of my favorite bands, and so all that kind of works in the background to form what I think good mixes are. But for your style, it's a lot more. I guess we'd say old school, Kill Switch and Shadows Fall and all that stuff's 20, 25 years old now. And so I kind of knew instantly what to go for, like what I would want to hear if I was, listening to those records. So hopefully we got it pretty close, and we'll keep getting it closer as we go.
It's funny because we look at ourselves, we talk about our old school influences. We're not trying to make the music sound like that older music, but those influences are undeniably there in the writing and the way we think of licks and stuff like that. But so it's like you can hear people keep telling me I can, your influences. Wow, that sounds like this, sounds like that, but that modern style or modern sound is there. And Andrew, I also want to say that when I just would say to everybody, the reason why I got his name from Colin is as we put out that first EP, we tracked that here at the house, and I just sent that to a guy I found on the internet for mixing and mastering, and he did a really good job actually mixing and mastering that EP too. But the flaws was the just home level recording that I did on all the tracking. So, when we got play with you guys, we got some airplay on some other radio programs and some internet stuff, some secular stuff too, by the way. And Mercy just is going to be on 3 different shows on Rock Rage Radio, 3 different shows from 5 p.m. all the way out past 11 p.m. on weekdays. I don't know, but I thought that's pretty cool. Mm-hmm. But I wanted to break in. I still want to. So we want to break into the Blast. We really love the music there. I met Colin at KCF. That's kind of our immediate goal. And so, and he had told, they didn't take the song when others did, and I can get it. To me, the Blast seems kind of like the big boys a little bit of the internet radio programs around, as far as I could tell. But so at least it does to us.
Well, except for those guys, that guy right there, I guess he does.
Yeah, no, I mean, you know what I mean, pecking order wise. You know what I'm saying, like. But so what I'm saying, so I just emailed him and I said, I tried to pick his brain and say, what would you say the reason is? We got it. Now, of course, he didn't respond to that. So I said, look, man, I said, we're looking for somebody that has success, that puts music on your station. We can get them to do the post-production. And the first name we got was Andrew Stanton. And I'll tell you this, we actually had medical 7 different companies. I got master from 7 different companies because I'm like, all right, I gotta find my guy. I gotta find the guy that's gonna understand our sound, put the magic on it. And so we went through the gamut. I paid through the nose, man, all different levels of cost. And we're so excited with what, you did. You put a magic on it, that, like you were saying, that extra production stuff, and you could feel that you enjoyed it, and you put your, a little bit of your soul and creativity into it. And so that's why I think we're super psyched to have you on and for all the immediate future releases.
Good. Yeah, it kind of gave me listening through like the dad rock vibe in like the best possible way.
Yeah, but we're definitely not dad rock. So it's not even close. That's just it. Have you heard the track, Riker?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, when you sent it to me, we have a group that it's me, Jeremy, and our other co-host Scott. I put it out there. I'm like, all right, you guys got it. Here's the newest track. You got to listen to it. So
it's the thing of it is, the dad rockers are guys that just get together in the garage on Fridays and have a beer and enjoy the playing it. We're already out there, booking these shows and proving ourselves and creating a following. So I think we're every bit a part of this scene as any of them are going to be.
Sure. I mean, like sound wise, but that was just my thought.
Now, I told you this, Eddie, when you first sent me the track to listen to. Like, the thing that hit me immediately was it sounded early Metallica. Like, Ride the Lightning, it had that guitar sound, it had the drum sound. Even your voice, slightly, in some spots, I could hear that Metallica influence in there. And for me, that blew me away because honestly, between me and you, Metallica is my favorite band ever. So, when you sent that to me, I was just like, oh my gosh, like this could be like a new favorite right now. And I listen to it all the time. That's how much I love this song.
And that, hey, if you're comparing us to Metallica, believe that's a compliment in the world we come from, bro. So for sure.
Mm.
But all right, though, my next goal then is I'm gonna win Riker over. I'm gonna get, we're gonna put one out where he's gonna say, "Oh my God, this is."
Dude, I was already loving your stuff, man. Seriously, I mean that. I listened to it through it several times, man. It's good
Right
stuff.
on.
for
You've
for
already got me
for
hooked.
for a
Great job.
younger guy, he's got a great taste in music. So
Good deal.
honestly,
Good deal.
Still
Thank you.
discovering stuff though. That's part of why I love this podcast so much. Opens up
And
my
we
eyes to a lot of new types of music.
and we feel like it's a good time too for us to come out. If you know, I guess if you look at the bands we grew up on, a lot of them are out there making millions, huge shows right now, like the Comeback Kings or whatever. Like the Comeback Kings, like the bands are acting as Comeback Kings. They're having these big
yeah,
comebacks, and so like I feel, and the thing of it is too, the music we grew up on, generally you heard a lot more guitar. Like, and maybe it's because I'm going a little deaf these days, my old age, but to tell you the truth, a lot of the recordings of some of the modern rock bands, like I get a little bit to where it all just kind of sounds the same after a while. It's the same growl vocals,
yep,
and the drums are getting huger and huger in the mix these days. And like we grew up on music where it was guitar driven music. And so like I wanted to find that sweet spot, and I told Andrew that I said, we don't want it to sound like 80s, but we definitely want to have a little bit more of a guitar presence where, you really know that's what the music's about.
yeah.
So, and he did
Well,
a super job doing that.
Always have the guitars turned up. I don't even.
Well, you did more than just that. I mean, I think you really mixed it in right, because if you get guitars that are too loud, you bury the drums, it's not going to work either. So I was really impressed.
Great job. Thank you.
Super duper job.
it was great. Like, well done. So, unfortunately, we are coming up close to our time. I hate to say that because I'm honestly enjoying this. We want to have you guys back on again. When you're ready to release another track, you got my number. We'll get you back on. We'll talk again about your newest track. So before I close this out in prayer, what is something you want the people watching on Facebook and the people that are going to listen and watch this later? What do you want them to know?
Well, we love all you guys. Every little interaction, whenever we go to the shows, whenever we meet people, we're super excited to talk to you guys, to get to know everybody. We want to be a part of your guys' life. So definitely come to Eddie Kross Official on Facebook with a K, Eddie Kross with a K, Eddie Kross Official. And man, add us to your Spotify playlist. We're trying to beef up our Spotify. So we love to get that. Share our music, share Mercy with everybody you guys think would enjoy that music. And we'll see you guys at the shows this season.
Absolutely. And I just want to put out there for those that are watching right now, if you haven't done it already, go on the Rock for Him chat group, scroll down a little bit, find Mercy on there, click that button. Let's get him on the top 15 this
Yeah, Eddie
week.
Kross, Mercy on My Life.
Mercy on my life. Yes, we want to hear that. I just want to thank you guys so much. And as you know, Eddie, a big important part of our show is prayer. Like it's why we do this, praying for the artists that we have on. So, how can we be praying for you guys? Start, Eddie. How can I pray for you?
Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and put a sensitive one out there then.
Okay.
And it's something that I carried with me this whole tour season, but we served the Lord and we did this, but my oldest daughter has stage 4 cancer. She lives in Texas, 25 years old. 26 years old, married a little over a year, and she's been going through that. So she was diagnosed as early as March, if I remember right, and just been going through chemo and been upgrading through the stages, and so she's getting good care. We just went down to see her and her husband for Christmas. So you guys keep my oldest daughter in prayer for sure. We're looking for a miraculous healing.
Absolutely. And how about you?
I kind of got the same story. My sister had breast cancer. She had a double mastectomy,
Okay.
and I pray for her every day. Doing radiation and stuff right now. And like I said, just for the family to be strong. Yeah, I try to grow. Like I said, I've come to Christ later in my life, and it's only been a couple years since I've came, and I just try to help me grow and stay strong. Like I said, I just want to stay strong. And
Absolutely. Cole, how about you?
My mom's been going through some health problems, so about the only thing in my life right now that needs praying for. Just my mom. So
Got it. Andrew, how can we be praying for you, brother?
Oh man, so sorry to hear about everybody's family dealing with health stuff. I don't have anything happening like that at the moment, but we've got a year full of shows coming up, and Disciples got this amazing legacy that I kind of get to share. I inherited that, and it's really cool. And there's maybe a perception about it, but it's always a hard business, whatever you're doing in music. So we appreciate the prayers for our travels, for our families that put up with all the time we're gone, and for all the financial business stuff that has to work to keep it all going. So we've got a really amazing sort of thing happening for a long time, and we always have faith, but prayers and all that is always appreciated too.
Absolutely. And just so you guys know, I mean, you know this, Eddie, we don't take this lightly. We have a group set up that I send these prayer requests to. It has all the other hosts of Rock for Him, and we literally pray through these every single day. So I'm going to go ahead, unless Riker has something he wants to add to this.
Oh man,
All
that's all
right.
for me.
Do you want to pray us out, Riker?
Yeah, sure.
All right.
Dear Heavenly Father, I thank you for the ministry of Eddie Kross and his band. I thank you for the talents that you've given them and the passion you've given them to share your name and your gospel through music. I pray that you would continue to bless them in their pursuits and efforts. That it wouldn't become tiresome or stale for them, but they'd continue to be fulfilled by it. And you can continue to bless them there. I want to pray for their family members right now, like Eddie's daughter who has cancer, and Sean's sister who also has cancer, and Cody's mom who's going through some health problems. Please bring them healing. Pray that you'd bring them to mind, that we would remember to pray for them and to fight for them on our knees. Bring about a miraculous healing and a miraculous peace. To those who care about them. And I pray for Andrew and for Disciples. They've got shows coming up, and all the stresses involved of touring and writing music, and the financial stressors. I pray that you'd bring them peace and encourage them, and that this would be a blessing of a year for them. So thank you for having them all, letting them all be on tonight, and in your name I pray. Amen.
Amen. All right, guys, I just want to thank all of you, Eddie, Cole, Andrew, like all of you guys, all of you. Thank you so much. Riker, brother, thank you for being on tonight.
Absolutely.
Guys, this has been such a blessing getting to talk to all of you. And I just want to remind those that are watching and listening right now that if you're going to rock for him. Have a good night, those watching.
If you like what you saw today, hit the subscribe and like button down below, and don't forget to share it to all your friends. Also, leave us a comment down below. If you're gonna rock for him.